So imagine that you are swimming in the ocean and the skies are crystal blue and the water is clear and you're surrounded by dolphins, a whole pod of dolphins. And you look around and you see them as they glide through the water, and they glide in curves that are up and down and side to side as they're going whatever direction the leaders of the pod are taking them. And there's the lead grandmother and there's the lead grandfather. And somehow you just know this. And you notice that the dolphins never bump into each other. They're always in flow with each other. And they're in flow with you. And their energy brings you into flow with them by creating a vortex of their flow that somehow, for whatever reason, you feel. And as you're going through the water and swimming with dolphins, and you're not thinking, you're not trying to do anything, because you're just following the dolphins. You're following your instinct to just be with the dolphins. And as you let go, and you'll find yourself just flowing, and sometimes just you go faster, sometimes slower, as you're in their rhythm. And every once in a while you'll come up for air for a few moments and then go back down. And as you continue to go, as you gaze at the grandmother dolphin, you see her look back at you with a glint in her eye, with a knowing, and you can feel it. And then, as she looks away and goes back into guiding the whole pod, you feel in your mind a telepathic communication from her. And she tells you that you're one of them. You just live on land. That the reason that they're with you is because they want a communion with you, because they want their energy, which is more about being in flow, more about respect and peace and love, for you to flourish more on earth as they're flourishing in the waters. And the grandma dolphin continues to telepathically communicate to you and tell you that the reason you're here is because you're not like the other people on earth that are caught up in cause and effect, results, right and wrong, power struggles, whatever all that stuff is. That that's not who you are. That you're like them. And that all you want is for things to flow on the world. To flow with people, to flow with life, to flow with them, to flow with all nature. And she tells you that you're protected when you're with them. And they're protecting you. And at that point, the grandfather dolphin in front with the grandmother dolphin looks back at you with a glint in his eye, and you see him checking you out. And then he looks back as he continues to guide the pod with the grandmother. And he telepathically communicates with you. And he tells you, he said, when you're with us, you're under my protection. I'm watching out for you. And you don't have to do anything to help us. You don't need to take care of us. You can just relax and enjoy, because who you are, being a living mammal that lives on Earth is something that they really value, because they want more to commune more in the energy with the people on Earth, because there's so many of them. And they have impact on the oceans and has impacts on the dolphins. So he's letting you know that you're an important person for them, and that while you're in the water, you're under his protection, and that he's watching out for you, and that no harm will come to you, and that their pod is one of the most integrated and powerful dolphin pods in the oceans. And there are others as well. And they don't compete. What they do is they appreciate when they all do so well in having a peaceful, loving community that supports each other. There is no competition. There's just dolphins enjoying life and co-creating and being with other dolphins. And that even though you are human, when you're with them, you're part of them. And he tells you, and when you're back on land, you're still part of them. It's just you're not swimming with them. And they can't protect you in the same ways. However, he says, the more you come out here with us and swim with us in the oceans, and our energies bond, and we co-create in the flows of life together, the more that they will be available to you all the time as a place where you can focus your energy that's separate from what goes on the earth, with the levels of upset, right and wrong, good and bad, sides, all the turmoil that goes on the earth. He tells you, we're impacted by it. However, what we do is we take that as a challenge to be even more who we actually are, and to do what we're here to do. And he extends that challenge to you and says, we know what our commitment is to life. We know what your commitment is to life. And we want to join forces with you. And there's no contracts. It's just heart to heart, mind to mind, spirit to spirit. As long as it flows, we'll do that with you. And as long as you flow with us, you're free to do that with us. And he says, and he turns around once again and looks at you with a smile, what looks to be a smile on his face. And he says, besides, we like swimming with you. You're cool. We never get to do that with people, not like you. They might think we're magical creatures and marvel at us. However, they don't just join in with us like you do. You're part of us. You've been a dolphin before. And the basic civilization around the world, they have no idea how powerful what the dolphins are doing and what impact that has on the whole world. For what they do is they bring more flow and harmony to life. And since they're mammals, which means that they're akin to humans, they're just in a different type of body, that the stronger that their bond is with you and yours with them, the stronger it makes all of you. And they want you to take their ancient wisdom from way back, from early Lemuria, in the time of where life was flow, because we came from the stars and we're first here. That's why women would be like mermaids. There would be unicorns. There were mermen. And there was more flow in the water and a magic to the energy. And that you actually were one of those original creatures along with them to help bring that energy to the earth. And he continues to tell you, and as he continues to tell you telepathically, one other dolphin's close to you who just senses the energy that happens to be right next to you. Sort of you can see that dolphin looking at him, looking at you, and marveling at what's happening. And because that dolphin hadn't seen that before. And then that dolphin realized, oh, she's one of us. And then looks at you in a way where you feel like you found your true family. You found your true family of origin on the earth. It's called the flow family. The flow family of mammals that's here in cooperative, and to be cooperative and supportive and loving, and to be giving and to take in others and be in support of them. And that you're a supporter like they are. And for some reason, he had a lot to say to you, even though he was leading the pod and going over towards this island and over towards that island over a period of hours of time. That this was something that he had been dreaming about for a long time, for you joining them. And he said that they had worked diligently for thousands of years, many thousands of years, to be able to create a vortex of energy between them so that you in a human body can come in and be transformed, and while you're with them, be in the same energy as being a dolphin. And then he turns to one more time and looks you right in the eye, very with a pointed look, like, I see you, get it? And the last communication is, you're one of us. That's why you're here. And when you hear that, your mind doesn't even know what to think. You just feel happy. You're like, I'm one of them. Wow, I have 2 legs, 2 arms. I don't have a body like them, but I'm one of them. And somewhere in your heart, and your brain, in your body, feels a full kinship of being one with the dolphins. And then you realize that you might be a woman who lives on the shore, on the earth, and an energetic flow, that you're a dolphin, and that you're here to bring your ways to the other people that you come in contact with. And right when you think that it's over, and now as you're following the grandmother and grandfather dolphin and the whole pod, and you're going right towards a beautiful island with palm trees you can see on the shore. You're going in the crystal clear, shallow waters, special, tranquil place. You realize that you've always known this. You were just fooled because nobody else around you knew this or can even know it, because they aren't dolphins. And then you take it like a gasp, without letting your air out. And you realize that you've always known this. You just didn't remember. There were so many overlays of human existence that you really thought you were a human. And yes, you are a human. You can give birth, you can have children, you can operate in the human world. However, in the energetic realms, that you're more like the dolphins. And now you get very excited and you start feeling very intrigued and you want to know more. So you ask the grandfather, what more can you tell me? I want to know more. And he turns around, just looks at you like, I hear you. And then looks back as he's leading the pod into this tranquil waters where they're just going to, just more like having a bath in the warm water, and it's gentle and peaceful. And he says, there's a lot more to say. There's a lot more stories about how we got here and who we are. And right now is time just to enjoy being together and being in this special tranquil waters. They're not quite as deep. The water's warmer. And the dolphins started, as they got closer to the shore, but they're still in the water, they started moving slowly, and they slowed way down. And when they slowed way down, you slowed way down. And then you felt this peaceful feeling of your body like floating and flowing, and without having to try to do anything, you were just flowing with them. And then they began to play. Some of them even surfed some waves, which you weren't quite ready for. However, you marveled that they were. And then you went over to the babies. And the babies were still like 3-4 feet across. They weren't like teeny weeny. They were like beings. And the babies, they all came over to you and they all started swimming all around you. And you could feel that they could feel your heart and that they were delighting in being in your heart energy. And as they did that, you felt your heart energy grow. And you realized in that moment that there was more to your heart than you'd ever known, because you were somewhat familiar with dolphin brain. However, you weren't familiar with dolphin heart. And dolphin heart just flows all around and joins in with who's ever around. As long as everyone's peaceful and in support, just joins in. And you can flow with anybody and do anything. And then, that night, when you woke up, you realized, even though it seemed really real, that it was a dream. And you thought, like, wow, I really thought I was in with the dolphins in the water. It felt so real. And then when you looked in the bed, you saw that there was water and it was wet, and you put your finger on it and you tasted your finger and it was salt water. And you saw there was little bits of sand and there was even a seashell. And you were like, wow, maybe I really was in the water. And with that, you felt so dreamy. You just stopped thinking about anything and relaxed and fell back to sleep again.